So if a man is in a position where he is generally focused on his mother's needs and perhaps the needs of others, then it's going to mean that he will be neglecting his own life. But although he will be neglecting his own life and will be out of balance, it doesn't mean that he will realize this. And so he can create the impression that he is selfless and that he has no needs apart from perhaps very basic needs. And this can be something that he genuinely believes. And so living this way is going to cause him to suffer, because he will be neglecting himself. And as he has his own needs and is not simply an extension of his mother in particular and of others, he will need to take care of his own needs to be at his best. And so, although he will be paying a price for this, he will do his best to deceive others and himself. And at this point, it can seem strange as to how a man could be in this position. But what it is likely to show is that he has a strong need to behave in the same way, to be there for his mother. And the feedback that would shed light on the fact that he is neglecting himself, so the thoughts, feelings, and sensations within him will end up being blocked out. And so he won't be able to listen to the guidance that is within him, because his need to be there for his mother will stop him from being able to listen to what's taking place within him and to pay attention to what he needs, to how he feels, because he will most likely spend most of his life living on the surface of himself. And as time goes by, he could end up having a breakdown, or he could get into a relationship. And if he was to get into a relationship, his partner, through being on the outside, will be able to see most likely what is going on. And she could end up making this clear to him that he is living in the wrong way. And if this was to go in, and this could take a while, then he could also start to wonder why he is so focused on his mother's needs, and why he acts as though he has no needs, or very few. And the reason why he will be preoccupied with his mother's needs and he will neglect most of his own needs is likely to be because he is in a developmentally stunted state. And so as his developmental needs were not met very early on, these needs won't have disappeared. Now that he's an adult, he will be unconsciously trying to fulfill the needs that were not met by his mother very early on. And the reason they were not met by his mother very early on is because she probably used him to meet some of her adult and unmet childhood needs. So just like now, he had to be there for her, and he was forced to neglect himself. But of course now he doesn't have to. But because of what took place during this time and the impact that it had, he's going to be stuck in this role. And so as these needs were not met, they will be all-consuming. And so in addition to having the need to try to meet some of the needs that were not met, he will also believe that if he doesn't focus on his mother, he will be harmed and or abandoned. And as he is developmentally stunted, his survival is still likely to be attached to his mother. And so the needs that will relate to the need to be loved, the need to be cared for, valued, accepted, approved of, all these things, the need for validation, all these needs won't have been met consistently. And so he will feel deeply empty and malnourished. And so all these needs will be controlling his behavior, in addition to his need to avoid upsetting his mother and his life coming to an end. And so in order for him to take a step back from his mother and to start focusing on his own needs and to be able to live his own life, he will need to start grieving these unmet childhood needs, because now that he's an adult, it is not possible for him to truly get these needs met. They need to be faced and worked through. And as he does this, he will start to emotionally grow up, and it will remove this surface level out of the way, and he will be able to connect to his real needs and to go about meeting them. And through being there for himself, through being positively selfish, he will be able to truly be selfless at times. But until this takes place, he will be consumed by his unmet childhood needs, and these will be controlling his life. And he won't be able to get in touch with his real needs because they will be outmuscled by his, what could be seen as false needs now that he's an adult. So if you're a man and you can relate to this, you can see that you are controlled by your unmet childhood needs, these false needs, and you want to get in touch with your real needs and to live your own life, then you may need to reach out for external support. And through reaching out for external support from a therapist or a healer, for example, you will be able to go where you wouldn't go by yourself, because this person will hold the space so you can start to work through your pain and to gradually emotionally grow up, and you will gradually be able to live your own life. So please don't neglect yourself and do what you need to do to live a life that is worth living. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.